Hello, welcome. Welcome, everyone. How are you today? I am very excited about this beautiful new Art in Bloom bundle. Oh my goodness, it is so amazing. You are going to love how easy this is. So, welcome if you're joining me live. I tried to go live earlier and I was really having some technical difficulties with Facebook, but I think we're live now and I'm excited. So if you see the little red live button up there, you have found me live on Friday, June 4th on Facebook. If you don't see the live button, then you are watching a replay. Maybe you're watching on my blog, on my YouTube channel, maybe you're watching on Facebook. Wherever you're watching, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad that you're here. If we haven't met yet, my name is Patty Bennett and I blog at pattystamps.com. So I wanted to remember to tell you that this In Bloom bundle is on page 116 of the new catalog. We're going to look at that. And this is the ordering code for it. And it does include the stamp set, the dies, and the embossing folder. And we're going to look at how these work together and how you can create these cards with this. Oh my goodness. It is so cool. It's so easy. And I think it's a complete wow. I don't know about you. I just think they're amazing. So we're going to look at, see, this one is embossed, stamped and embossed. And it's basically a one-layer card on top of polished pink. But then this one takes it another step. And can you see how these flowers have been popped up? It's the same flowers, but it's just another version. So I'm going to show you how to do both of these today. And really, I can't stress enough. You're just going to be like, oh my gosh, that's it. This is so easy. Yes, yay. Thank you for all of you who finally found me again on Facebook. The live was just not cooperating this morning. It actually gave me a message that it was limiting the number of times I could use the live feature. And since I only do one live a week for customers here and one live a week on my private group for my Love to Stamp group, I'm kind of surprised that that's too many times, but you know, whatever, right? At least we're here. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so I promised I would show you here in the catalog, just in case maybe you saw this page and you didn't realize what all was involved with this bundle. So page 116, this is the new catalog. Let me show you the cover just so you're familiar. This is the new catalog that started May 2021. And on page 116, we have this Art in Bloom bundle. The bundle, it shows you down here what it includes. So the stamp set, we'll be using that, the stamp set. The dies, called Bloom. The dies are simply called Bloom. I think technically the full name is Bloom Hybrid Embossing Folder, but this is where it gets a little confusing because here's the Bloom folder, but the Bloom folder includes the dies. I don't know. This is like, we went kind of around and around with this on my team live this week because you can't purchase the dies or the embossing folder separately. So the way they have worded it is a little confusing. It does explain up here that the Bloom Hybrid Embossing Folder, which is this, includes the die and the embossing folder. So you cannot buy either one of them separate. It's a bundle. And then it's also a bundle with the set. So if that isn't confusing enough, let's look over here on page 157, where it is also featured. And it will reiterate again that you can get the entire bundle for $53, or you can get the die and embossing folder together for $33. Or you can get the stamp stamp set separately for 26. Okay, so in a way, I'm glad it's almost that confusing, because let me just tell you, you're just going to want the whole thing. Make it easy. You're going to want the bundle that includes all three. Okay. So I hope you haven't tuned out by now going, what is she talking about? Yes, it's confusing. Yes, this is the best deal. Yes, this is what you want. Okay. I know, right? You're probably going, what did she just have for lunch? Well, I had cheese and crackers and water. Okay, so here we go. We are going to stamp with the flowers, and then we are going to emboss. So our color palette for these cards is exactly the same for the flowers. It's Daffodil Delight, Polished Pink, Flirty Flamingo. And then I did use no, I didn't use Shaded Spruce. I only used Just Jade and Mint Macaron for the leaves. But I've already got leaves done, so I didn't have those stamp pads out. We're just going to work with the flower. So here we go. This is super cool. The flowers are all one stamp. So can you see here? They're connected. So if I were to gently, you have to be careful peeling photopolymer off. You don't want to just like go ripping it off and rip anything. So let me just show you. They're all connected, okay? All three are one piece. So we're just going to let that go back on there on the clear block. I'm going to ink the whole thing in Polished Pink. And I'm going to stamp just kind of basically right in the middle of my 4 by 5 1/4 basic white. You're welcome, Susan. Susan says, thanks for explaining that. I know that sounded confusing, but it is confusing in a way, right? Okay, so there's that. And then we have 3 of these, let's call them filler stamps. Would that be fill-in stamps? What would we call this? These are the flower middles. I think we could call it that. Grabbing some blocks. Oops, did I just hit the camera? Hope not. Sorry if I did. Did not mean to. And we are going to fill in. So you can see that this one is going to fill in there. And they don't fill in like 100% exactly, but that's the style. It's meant to just be kind of close. So you don't have to fret too much, because no matter where you stamp it, there's going to be a tiny little bit of white somewhere, and that's okay. All right, so there's that one. And then I used Flirty Flamingo. Let's bring this back in so you can see at the bottom. And that one is this. Let's just make sure. Yep. So Flirty Flamingo. Is it? Oh, that's that one. I should have tested. All right, so this one's Flirty Flamingo. Okay, here we go. Flirty Flamingo. Yep. And see how there's like a little bit of white, and that's just the way it's designed. So don't get worried. Don't think like, oh my goodness, I've done it wrong. You haven't. That's just how this is. And I think, did I stamp this off? I think I did a little bit. I didn't want it to be too dark. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So there we go. We have the outline and we have the 3 filler stamps. That's what I'm going to call them, filler stamps. Now, if you take that piece, you can see right here that they are going to line up with those 3 flowers in the bloom folder. So if you want to just close this up, put it through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you are going to get this. It will emboss texture onto the flowers. It will emboss that outline of the flowers, and it will emboss all of these leaves. Okay, so that's like easy peasy, card number 1. That's all you have to do. And isn't that a wow for that easy of a card? I think it's like amazing. But what we are going to do is this one, because this is where there could be possibly a little confusion and you might not know exactly how to do this. So let's grab the bloom dies and we're going to use this one. Here's what you do. You put this inside your folder and you just kind of move it around and you're going to feel it sort of lock in there. So right now it has just locked in. I mean, it'll come out, but I'm just saying like it's kind of set in there. And then we'll put this in just as if we were going to do that first step, but we are putting it in so that it will cut and emboss all at once. Oh my gosh. Can you believe this? This is amazing. So I wanted you to be able to see this. So I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss right here. I know this is like pretty big. Yep, I guess it does show. Okay, we're good. We're good. And to do a 3D embossing folder, your instructions are right here on the platform. We have our platform, we have our 3D folder with our paper inside, and in this case, this special case, we also have the die inside. And then we have, it's marked number 4. We have the number 4 3D embossing plate. And that goes on top. And we wheel this through. And that little pop, that's normal. It's just the thickness that is going through to the other side. And then when we open it up, look, it has done that embossing and it has also cut the 3 flowers. Oh my goodness. Can you believe that? Is this just not the coolest bundle? I tell you, it is amazing. Amazing. So we're going to go back to this sample. This is what we're going to make. And I have a piece of polished pink. No, Sherry, it does not cut the folder. Isn't that, look, the folder is absolutely fine. Completely fine. Isn't that amazing? So amazing. That is how it works. It's supposed to work that way. I'm not doing like a weird technique here. This is how it's supposed to work. I didn't want you to be kind of freaked out like, wait, is she doing the wrong thing? No, I am doing it the way it is designed. So now we are going to attach this to our polished pink folded card base. I elected to do a top fold because on this design, I wanted to be able to put my polished pink ribbon around. So that's why it's a top fold. And when you do anything with an embossed piece of cardstock and you want to attach it to something else, liquid glue, the multi-purpose Tombow, is fabulous because it will kind of sink in and seep into all of those little nooks and crannies. That reminds me of a English muffin. So if you just let that kind of smush, that is going to really help it stick. So that's that. And then here is my tip. And by the way, if I forgot to mention this, tomorrow on pattystamps.com, that's my blog, we are going to, or I am going to have this card, these 2 cards, and a whole bunch of tips. So if you miss any of these tips, all you have to do is check my blog tomorrow and you will find all of these tips. What I am going to do is put a piece of foam adhesive sheet. If you haven't seen it, the package looks like this. It's one of my most favorite things to use. I just love using this, and I use it instead of using a whole bunch of dimensionals. It's just quicker, I think. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut some pieces, and I just have a little box that I keep with kind of like scraps of these. Let's see. And I just kind of eyeball them. There's really no magical anything about this. And I'll show you why I'm doing this. You're probably thinking, what in the world? What in the world is she doing? I'll show you why. Hey, Maggie, I see Maggie's on here. It's good to see you. So the reason I did that is I'm going to pull this release paper off. And I am going to use it to attach these leaves. And I die cut and stamped and die cut these leaves from this bundle. So I'll show you that again, because I'm sure a lot of you just tuned in. I really do apologize that this was an hour later than planned because of the Facebook issues, but I'm here and I'm glad you found me. So in this bundle, we have the outline leaf and the filler leaf, very similar to what we did with the flowers. And then we have a pair of leaves with the filler. So you have dies that cut those. And then there's also this die, and it die cuts that, which I think is really pretty. Isn't that nice? I like this. I really like that one. So I just stamped and die cut several of those so that I could use them on my project. And then what I decided probably was really easy, this is why I'm doing this, and I'm not going to do it exactly the same as the other one. I'm doing it just a little bit differently. I am just putting them onto the sticky, and then I don't have to really think too much about it. And it's done. And they will pop out from behind the flowers. And then we can just put our flowers right back in the spots. But what I like about this is that pink, the polished pink, which is a new in color if you haven't seen it, it kind of shows through from behind. See where when you kind of move the card around? I hope that shows. You can see where that pink gives it sort of just a little bit of a, like an outline or a shadow sort of, and it helps it just make those images pop. Isn't that cool? It is just like the neatest. I am telling you, the most interesting, innovative. I just love it. Absolutely love it. I think it's just fascinating. And here is that one that's not popped up. So if you eliminate this and you just stamp and put it in here and emboss, again, you'll get that, which is completely beautiful and totally nothing wrong with that. But that added step with the die will then give you this. I just think it's amazing. Totally amazing. Now, what I am looking for, and it seems to have gone missing. I was looking for my little die, and it was here, but okay, so I guess we'll have to improvise, and we are going to just stamp. I guess I could just die cut one. I wish I could find it. I'm sorry. That's always embarrassing. But let's set these aside and let's go ahead and die cut one because it's in here. The die is in this, and I think it's really fun to use what comes in the set. And what this is going to do is this is going to give me the opportunity to show you that when you are doing regular die cutting, you also need this extra shim. And so it's on here. The instructions are here that you need the plate number 2, you need your clear plate, and then you need your paper and your die. And you need one more clear plate. And my preference is I use these little sticky tabs from Post-it, and I just like to attach it so that it won't move around. And here's another tip. If you put a die in like straight, I guess should we call that straight in, or this way, it's not going to die cut as well as if you can put it at an angle. If you put it at an angle like this, it is going to give more of the rollers and the pressure under here a better chance of die cutting. It's just kind of a good little tip to remember. And so then we have our label that we're going to use. So let's stamp on that. And oh, there it is. It like flew. That was funny. So when we have a photopolymer set, we don't have that extra rubber underneath our photopolymer. And so that's when it is important to use foam mat. And we sell the Stampin' Pierce mat. We also have a foam mat that can be used with the Stamparatus. And I think in a pinch, I haven't done it, but I'm sure in a pinch, you could always try a mouse pad if you needed to get a better image. So I just did Dear Friend and cut it. So there you can see that I did Dear Friend and I just cut it off, but it allows me to use the other half on another card. So I kind of like that. So let's assemble that, and then I'll show you this cute little embellishment that I did because I think that is pretty adorable. I'm going to cut a piece of this rather than using several dimensionals. Just make sure I get it under the right half. And put it right there. And flip it over and trim it off. Now I can use this one on another card if I don't lose it. And then for the 2 little embellishments that are here, which are super duper cute, I have used the loose flower flourishes. I used the pink one. Aren't they cute? And in the center, I added an in-color jewel. So let's show you how I did that. So for the flower, I'm going to stick it onto a glue dot, and that's how that will adhere. And then for the center, I'll show you close up so you can see. I picked up the little tiny jewel. That's a papaya jewel, and I stuck it right in the center. Isn't that cute? I love that. Love, love, love. So that is it. Oh my goodness. I am telling you, the cuteness factor is pretty amazing of this. So cool. So cool. So again, if you missed the beginning, page 116, it's the Art in Bloom bundle The whole bundle comes with the stamp set, the dies, and the embossing folder. That's your best bet, because then you can do all of these techniques and you don't have to worry about, oh, well, how am I gonna, I can't die cut it because I only bought this or that or whatever. It's just, your best deal is just to get it all. I just love this. I think this is amazing. Oh, thank you. I just saw Janelle said that she shared the video. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you ever think that any of your crafty friends might enjoy one of my videos, I always appreciate you sharing. That's fabulous. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. And if you like it, give me a thumbs up or a heart. I love to see those as well. So once again, I'm just going to end and say that the Art in Bloom bundle samples, all the information, the shopping links will be on pattystamps.com on June 5th. So if you're watching this live, that's tomorrow. And then I'm also will put it onto YouTube if you want to ever watch it again and you don't see it on my blog. Oh, I know, the one last thing. I added Wink of Stella, and this is the fastest way. I just put the tip in the cap and I flick, and it makes sparkles everywhere. You could paint this on to each flower, but this is just super quick and easy. Yay! So thank you, thank you. I am so glad that you enjoyed this. I'm loving the hearts. Thank you so much. I don't think there were any questions. If you have questions, go ahead and type them now so that I can catch them, because I would love to be able to answer your questions about this bundle before we go. Thank you again so much. I'm so glad that you joined me today. I'm so happy that you enjoyed this. I think it's just such a fun technique and a fun bundle. And I can't wait to play with this where I'm going to use other colors, like a colored background instead of the white. Although I really think the white is just super classy. Don't you love it? I think it's beautiful. Thank you, Nicole. Happy International Donut Day. How did I miss that, Katie? That sounds awesome. All right, well, thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I don't see any questions. I appreciate you sticking with me, and I will see you again next week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.